I'm Dr. Robert Dew. I'm one of the founding partners of Capfeather Global, and we're a consultancy focused on helping our customers to grow. So I want to give you our answer to why digital initiatives fail, and I want you to understand that I don't start out with some kind of bias towards wanting to sell you some kind of digital transformation. In fact, we believe that even though digital transformation is one of the hottest and trendiest things to spend money on in Australia right now, it's not something that we do. We're not against it, we're just against it in the way that it's currently being used. I've just come back earlier this year from an innovation conference in Copenhagen, and every second research paper was about some kind of digital innovation and how it was supposed to work. All of them involved using software, and just about all of them came down to two things: reducing cost or trying to reduce friction. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that reducing cost is a really good idea, and I think reducing frictions for your customer is a really good idea, and I understand that you can use artificial intelligence sometimes to do those things. The whole point of it is you want a piece of software to replace a human. The problem is, when you think about how that works, it doesn't actually materialise to give you the benefits that you often thought that you were going to get. We'd like to talk to you today about a different approach about how you might actually use digital transformation in your business to help you succeed. And this is important because many digital transformations fail. For example, if we just think about installing a new CRM, so that you can understand what's happening with your customers. If you look online very quickly, you'll see that somewhere between 20 and 70% of CRM installations fail. So why do those things fail? It seems like a pretty straightforward idea. We collect information about customers. Because we know more about customers, then we can make them better offers, and therefore then they'll buy some stuff from us. Okay? What's interesting thing about this failure is that it's not the CRM that fails because of its data capture capability. It's not the platform not being functional enough. It's how the information is used by your sales and marketing team to successfully build a relationship with customers. So why is there a problem building a relationship with customers when a digital change like this can offer so many benefits, especially in reducing costs? We think that it's the reducing costs bit that's fundamentally the problem. Most businesses are in markets where they're fundamentally oversupplied. So what's important is to realise that your customers can get a similar product or service from a different rival here or a different rival there, or someone who's further up the value chain or later down the value chain, or someone who's got a slightly different take on what you're doing, or perhaps even an indirect supplier who can help the customer get the same job done but with a totally different way of doing it. Think about that. If your customer has lots and lots of choices, they're not going to be able to choose the cheapest one because the actual market itself is going to create so many choices that they'll be confused. Think about the idea of finding a mortgage. Even with a broker's help, do any of us believe that we've got the cheapest mortgage? And even if it was the cheapest mortgage today, how do we know it's going to be the cheapest mortgage next week? Have you tried to buy a hotel room, or have you tried to buy an airline ticket online? Do you really think that you got the best deal? I think you had the illusion of choice and a complexity that made sure that in there was some difficulty going on, so that you were never going to be able to get through all of that friction. And so of course the digital people come along and say, let's make that choice easier. Do you really want to do that as a business? Do you really want to be completely transparent in how you present your approach to market so that it's properly comparable exactly on price to everything else that's out there? I don't think so. So we'd like to suggest that you use your digital initiative a different way. Instead of making it client-facing to cut some people out on your side who would normally talk to those customers, make it people-facing so that the smarts in that system helps your people do a better job at building the relationship with your customers. Use your digital system to differentiate what you're doing for customers rather than to cut cost and friction out of it. Now, why is that relationship important? The relationship that you have with customers matters way more than the price that you offer, because nobody will talk about getting a slightly better price. Nobody will talk about getting, well, it was a slightly easier transaction to buy something, if that's not a terrible problem in your market. Right? When was the last time you said, oh, you wouldn't believe it, I drove through McDonald's and they served me in under 2 minutes. That was amazing, right? It's not worth talking about because that low friction is just not surprising. Maybe the first time that you drove through at McDonald's it was worth talking about back in the 70s. I don't know. But right now, not interesting at all. What is interesting is when you go back to one of those places, those restaurants that you've been to before, and the wait staff who didn't even serve you last time not only recognised you, but they knew what you liked and wanted to know if you wanted to have the same table. That's a totally different experience, completely fulfilled seamlessly when you make the digital system work for your people, not your customers. So we would say, use your digital systems to improve the customer experience that you provide and make sure that they're facing for your team internally rather than trying to cut some of your team out of the process and have the digital system facing your customers externally.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to download a one-pager on why most digital initiatives fail, please click on the link below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Capfeather's YouTube channel for more content like this.